What's up, Glads, and welcome back to Gladiators on Tour, Road to 2 ATP points, a series where I take you Glads with me to professional tournaments all around the world, and you know the rest. And in case you don't, check out parts 1 and 2 of this season of Gladiators on Tour in Sanxenxo up over there, just to have a better understanding of the journey that got us all the way up until here. But today, for the first time ever, I will be playing in the first round of main draw to fight for my first ever ATP point. But ahead of me was a super tough match against the world number X300 and current world number 800 from Germany. By the way, Glads, feel absolutely free to follow us on Instagram for some cool tennis related vertical content at gladiatorstennis. But for now, let's flashback to the morning of the match day. After waking up, I've packed my bag, making sure that I only take the essential stuff, as I still had to walk to the club uphill. So isotonics, strings, shoes, laptop, some camera gear, water, and better not to forget the rackets. After the breakfast at the gas station, as I said, I walked to the club. There isn't much to see around the tennis club in Sanxenxo. Everything just looks like you're in a village.
Luke's back is so he's actually thinking that he might have to retire from his match.
Yeah, first game.
Yeah, he can't even properly warm me up, so yeah.
And as you might already know from the previous video, Luke did have to end up retiring from the match because his back was hurting a lot and he just couldn't move on the court.
Also in main draw, there's like there's line umpires. Is that what they're called? Well, line umpire. There's just one, but yeah, that's cool.
During the warm-up, I felt pretty well. The weather was perfect, and again, the conditions were really good for my tennis. Typical warm-up with some cross-court rallies and switches to loosen up a little bit.
Glads, it's time to go on court. If I win the toss, I'll obviously choose to serve, and I'll first serve, I'll do an underarm.
And yeah, as you saw, I actually did an underarm serve and it worked pretty well. And overall, the first few points I felt quite good, serving pretty well and feeling quite solid. However, when you play against a player that was so high up in the ranking, pretty well can sometimes not be enough. And after this really long point that he took with a solid volley, I made a nervous mistake on a backhand approach that I usually have pretty locked. And at the score of 30-all, things start to get complicated. I knew that I absolutely had to take this game because it is super important to take your serve in the first game with these guys, as getting broken in the first game will make them loosen up and play better on their serve. So every time I was advantage down, I'd fight like an animal to get back. As I said, my opponent's highest ranking has been exactly 300 in the world back in 2020, and his current ranking was just under 800, 700 and something, which, I mean, 300 is like solid challenger level, not even futures. Glads, don't forget that if you want to get anything tennis related, like the Technifiber Razor soft strings that I just can't shut up about, or my sexy LACOSTE shoes that I can also not shut up about, or, as I said, anything else tennis related, the link is in the description below together with our exclusive discount code. And after managing to recover from several break points and not managing to close on the advantage that I had, I ended up losing that game, and that was bad news. As well, now he had both the score advantage and the mental advantage. Gotta say, losing that game took away a lot of my mental cardio, let's just say. I didn't notice it in the moment, but looking through the match now, I can really tell that that was the case. Don't get me wrong, in the moment I was fighting for every point and aiming to break him back right away. Though now I can see that the intensity went down as well as my patience, and that's why the percentage of winners decreased while the percentage of unforced errors increased a lot. Plus, he wasn't just chilling either. As I said, from the first game on, his game became smoother and he was way less tight compared to the beginning of the match. Remember, I once said that when you're playing against higher ranked players, especially those that are way higher ranked or have had better results than you in the past, it is really important to believe that you can actually take them out. Otherwise, there's no chance whatsoever. Well, in this case, I gotta say, I truly believed I could win this much, but I think it was the rhythm that caught me off guard. Like with the pros that I played in Dubai, Medvedev and Rublev for example, here I was playing at a pace that I'm not really used to playing at. It's obviously lower than the guys in Dubai, but higher than my usual pace. And I can totally play with that speed, but I wasn't used to doing so and therefore sometimes couldn't think straight and often rush certain decisions, making me lose some points and often crucial points. He, on the other hand, was comfortable with that pace and super solid with it. And at those crucial points, instead of losing it, he would get even more solid. The game that I managed to stay solid, serve well and not make stupid tactical decisions, I managed to get the advantage and close the game with no problems. I would sometimes win very sexy points and seem to be playing at a pretty similar level to him, but every point just some little something was missing. A slight out or one more step to get to the ball properly and get it over the net. And as you know pretty well, the game of tennis is pretty much made up of those small little nuances that end up bulking up in a game-set match. As I said in the previous video, the really long and intensive points are crucial for the mental advantage, and guess what? I didn't win a single long and intensive rally. Not game set match yet, but definitely game set, and we were into the second set, where he was not letting it go. He stayed super solid and in my face the entire time, and at this point I have to say that I did go down mentally. And if the first set it was kind of subconscious, now I could certainly feel it, and I wasn't managing to find a solution. I didn't tank it by any means, but I just couldn't see a way out. Every time I seemed to have played a smart move, he'd be there to counter it, and once again was just putting one more shot inside the court. It seemed like he knew exactly when to gather up and push all the way. The moments when I felt like I had it, he was doing his best to prove me wrong and take that confidence away from me, and that day, it was working for him. So there you have it, a quick second set and match overall to not take up too much of your precious time. Sad? Nah, losing is part of the game, and being sad after a loss is kind of unprofessional.
Yeah, so I just got my ass handed to me on a silver platter, garnished with a bagel on the side. But yeah, that was quick. Yeah.
And yeah, my first ever match in main draw was a pretty quick one, and the score wasn't one that I can really be proud of. But honestly speaking, you might think that this is an excuse, but by the time I got to the first round of main draw, mentally I was really tired and exhausted from the first match with Arik up to the second match in the last round of qualifying, where, you know, even though I did win, it was a pretty mentally requiring match. I was quite tired, and after losing that first game on my serve that was very close, and you know, we both had advantages and both had chances, when he broke me, he also broke me mentally. And you know, when you're playing against these guys who are so experienced, you know, X300 in the world is good level, you just have to be 100% mentally there. Might not be there 100% physically, but mentally you have to be there on every single point, and it just wasn't the case. But I'm sure for the next time I play against this guy, I'm sure I can do a better score, because you know, with a good serve you can do a lot of things, especially on hard court. But I guess I'll only be able to prove that to you guys in the future videos, so definitely stay tuned. But for now, I'm actually gonna go and do something that I completely forgot about, and that is pick up my prize money.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to pick up my first ever singles ATP prize money. I don't even know how much that's gonna be, but I don't really care.
Overall prize money was just under 200 euros. As Luke and I didn't end up getting into the doubles of that tournament because we don't have the doubles ranking, I just wanted to leave Sanxenxo as soon as possible because, you know, that feeling after you lose in a tournament, you just want to get out as soon as you can because you just don't want to keep staying there. Well, that's the feeling that I was experiencing, and so I looked at the tickets and the only option I had was a plane to Madrid in 3 hours, so I had to really rush.
I have a feeling that Slava is not in a good spot right now. It's like a coincidence if you don't score and you still don't score.
It's okay, I'm taking my time.
Alright guys, so all of these balls, or whatever they're called, are Slavas, and I just scored the black one instead of here. I scored it there. So I lost.
That's how you win, guys. You don't score one, but you still end up winning. It was tactic.
And even though I did end up wasting some time playing pool with the boys, it was an absolute necessity. But then I quickly rushed to the hotel, picked up my stuff, checked out, and headed out to the airport that was 1 hour away from my hotel.
Oof, guys, I'm in the airport, but this was a massive rush because I was basically like an hour away from the airport at 2 and the flight was at like 4:25, so I rushed to the hotel, showered, packed everything up. The girls who take care of the hotel, they were like, we can take you to the airport. I was like, damn, nice. So there I am. I was buying the ticket as I was going with them in the car. They at some point they charged my credit card, but I didn't get the booking confirmation. But yeah, going to Madrid now. From there I'm taking a train to Barcelona, and I think this might be the end of this trip. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe not. Maybe I'll stay by in the studio. I'm not sure, I haven't planned the video yet, but maybe see you in a bit.
So yes, here we are back at the studio to say all of the goodbyes, and there's a lot more of Gladiators on tour coming up, and I'm currently waiting for Nikita to pick me up to get me to the airport for the next one, so definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.